Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Thursday, May 23rd. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. The Anglican priest who allegedly leaked the questions and answers for an exam paper to scores of Barbados Community College students has been temporarily suspended from his priestly duties. Reverend Reginald Knight, a tutor at the BCC, will also be investigated by the church. Anglican Bishop Michael Maxwell made the disclosure today at a news conference. He told reporters that a special committee will probe the matter.
I have called for a pastoral committee meeting that deals with these sort of issues to review the situation. And they are supposed to meet on Monday, the 3rd of June. This is because I am going to go off right now, shortly tomorrow, to Provincial Synod in Trinidad. So on my return, the first day of the week, I will be meeting with the pastoral committee in order to review this particular situation. And at present now, the individual, has been asked to take temporary leave from all priestly duties at present until the meeting of the pastoral committee.
Vendors at the Cheapside Market and the Bridgetown Fish Market complained today that business is at an all-time low. The vendors shared their concerns as opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley and his team toured the two facilities this morning. Atherley told reporters the vendors are blaming the recent hike in bus fares for the fallout.
Well, you heard it as clearly as I did, repeatedly. And I mean repeatedly in several instances. People complain that business has fallen off. One guy was very insistent that, in fact, it dates back to May last year. Business has fallen off. When we queried as to what they thought were the reasons for that, repeatedly you heard the bus fare problem. People not paying bus fare to come, the cost of bus fare adding to people's already high costs, preventing them from buying fish to the extent that they would have, or even shop in the fruit and vegetable set. So that bus fare thing perhaps runs far more deeply than people in Barbados imagine. This is where the rubber meets the road. It is all right to talk about meeting your targets in terms of reducing your debt in a statistical way to satisfy the IMF, wanting to talk about increasing your foreign reserves by access to borrowing from IADB and CDB and IMF and stuff like that. But this is where the rubber meets the road.
In other news this Thursday, the government's chief economic counselor says the island's intake of close to $30 million in revenue exceeded expectations. Ambassador Clyde Maskell says it was a pleasant surprise, but the Mia Motley administration missed an opportunity to invest more in some sectors because it has been extra cautious. He was speaking at the annual panel discussion of the CFA Society of Barbados at the Errol Barrow Center for Creative Imagination last night.
We had a target, a 3.3 or 2% of GDP target for a primary surplus, but we actually did 3.4 something. It meant that we could have spent at least $25 million more doing things for schools and doing things for health, but we missed the opportunity. But because we were trying to be cautious, it meant that we did not get that opportunity. And the reason why we didn't is because in being cautious in our forecasting of revenue, we actually did not anticipate that our VAT collection would have been almost 17, I think more than 70% better than we were forecasting. And what that implies therefore is that there's an underlying improvement in the economy that we are hoping to see and we expect to see during the second half of 2019.
At the same time, Maskell also reported that the government was able to achieve a major savings at the Barbados Water Authority and the Sanitation Service Authority. He said the savings mainly resulted from the negotiation of contracts.
I can tell you this, the Water Authority, again, amazing that you could have a situation in which every month you're leaking $10 million. And now we've been able to do that sanitation economy. Because it's not just fiscal issues, there are issues on the inside.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, a growing crisis in Trinidad and Tobago as scores of Venezuelans seek refuge. On Wednesday, over 90 Venezuelan migrants who arrived in TNT received permission to stay for the May 31 Venezuela amnesty registration.
I'm in front of the Siparia police station where some 95 Venezuelans have been brought in by police. What we know so far is that police received the call around 1 p.m. that 5 boats were coming in at a Palo Seco beach. When they got there, they found a large group of migrants in some bushes, and they were all brought into this particular police station for processing by about 15 immigration officers, I'm told. For the past hour or so, we've been seeing most of these Venezuelan nationals coming out of the police station with a piece of yellow paper titled Letter of Supervision. That means they're free to be in this country until a date stated on their individual letters. I've spoken to a couple of them, and these Venezuelans are telling me that they're here because of the amnesty due in just 9 days' time. To the right of me, you can see a group of them. The men have been processed first, and right now they are awaiting most of the women and children who are still within the Siparia police station. Also, a short while ago, police officers at this station brought food and drinks to these Venezuelans. They tell me they're just happy to be here, happy to be safe, and hope that with the amnesty in just 9 days' time, things work out for them.
And on the international scene, the Indian Prime Minister has thanked the people of India for giving him an historic mandate of 5 more years in office after a landslide victory in general elections. In the victory speech, the Prime Minister said his win was a guarantee of a bright future for the common people of the country.
An historic victory. Indeed, a landslide for the Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party. Narendra Modi now set for a second 5-year term as Prime Minister of the world's biggest democracy.
You have seen it from 2014 to 2019. The people who used to talk about secularism have now gone quiet. In this election, not one political party has been able to deceive the people of India by wearing the label of secularism.
Some 600 million people voted over a 5-week period in 542 constituencies. The number of journalists here outside the BJP party headquarters is actually higher than the numbers of people celebrating the Modi victory, perhaps because it was seen that the incumbent Prime Minister's victory would be a foregone conclusion. His challenge now is to unite a country that is increasingly divided. His popularity falling 6 months ago, Modi regained the political initiative in February when he ordered airstrikes against alleged terrorist camps inside Pakistan in retaliation for an Islamist attack on Indian forces in the disputed territory of Kashmir. Since then, he's ignored economic issues in favour of projecting himself as India's tough guy, Chowkidar, the watchman. Now, India's 200 million Muslims, who probably flooded to the secular Indian Congress Party, have a dwindling voice, as the Congress barely survived as a credible opposition.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.